welcome back to the UBF podcast channel. We're here with two Sydney FC players that defined a generation, that left plenty of memories in our heart. Alex, Bobo, welcome to the UBF podcast.
Thanks, man. It's good to be here.
Well, Bobo, what's brought you over here?
It's nice to be back, after 3 years, be back in the city and then see old faces like Brosque. It's nice to be here.
Well, and Alex, you were here about a year ago. You were on the podcast. We've built a relationship, beyond the podcast, and we appreciate you for everything. Not what you've done for the club, but you've done for us. You played in a charity match a few weeks back. How was that?
I did. It was good fun, man. Like, you guys did a good job in bringing all those people together and, creating the event that you did, raising the money that you did. And yeah, it's been good being a part of everything you guys have done in the past, 12 months. To see where you are now from back then, Bella Vista, doing the podcast is good, man. Like I said before, the game needs, people like you guys driving the game and getting, more people knowing what's happening in and around the game. So, man, like he said, it's good to be here on the couch with this guy. I haven't seen him since he left, so it's good to be here. It's good to be on the show.
What was that now? 4 years? 3-4 years?
Almost 4.
He looks the same.
Yeah, we have a good time together. So many trophies, score goals. We enjoy a lot.
Good fun, mate. Good fun.
What is it about Brazil? You've got no grey hairs, nothing. It's still all...
Nah, but it's still here.
Fair enough, but we'll kick it off. We'll talk about the early days. We'll start with Bobo. Talk to us. How did the move happen when you came to Sydney?
Well, let's go. I come here in 2016 when I don't know about nothing about the outside of football. And then when I come, this guy here and then the other ones helped me a lot to adapt. Like football in Australia, and we enjoy. We have a good time together, and yeah, we have so many good memories together.
And what was Alex like when you first arrived? Was he one of those that, made you feel welcome? What was your relationship like at first? How long did it take to, build a friendship that we see today?
Yeah, Brosque is easy for me because when I come, I don't speak any English, Then he speaks Spanish. Sometimes he helps me to translate something like this in the pitch or with the coach. So it's easy to adapt with him.
Fair enough. Is Spanish still 100%, Alex?
Not 100%, but enough to get me by. But again, to help and to use it when I need, it's good enough.
We might have to translate today by any chance.
if needed.
Well, talk to us about, obviously your style. We know your journey from the A-League, one of the stalwarts that we call Mr. Sydney FC. What was it like when Bobo arrived, and how did he affect your last few years at Sydney?
I think in that sort of time, Arnie had been, he was instrumental for all of us, and we're just talking about some players that are playing that we remember from the past. And the big thing with Arnie was about recruiting good people, not just guys that could do a job on the field. And the team that he brought together was incredible. And I think for foreigners coming here, as long as you work hard, as long as you give everything, the public will respond and they'll appreciate that, And you could see from the first week that he was here, that he was here to do a job. He was here to work hard. He was one of us, I think that's the other thing, because with Australian players, we're pretty low key. We don't care about where anybody's played before. We're all, generally a close group of guys. And when the foreigners join that, if they act in that sort of spirit as well and act like just one of us, the players take them straight away and they make them feel comfortable, and everyone laughs together and enjoys together. And that's how you create that, close bond, I think. And again, Arnie was very good at doing that. I think we had a good group of older players. Matty Simon was there, Wilco, Vuka, David Carney, and all these guys were just brilliant, So when you get, Bobo and the foreigners that we had, it was a perfect mix.
Yeah. And you mentioned Carney and Wilco and, even people like Redmayne, who are still with us today in the A-League. These are guys who stuck around and they still have their footprint and their hands and everywhere involved in the A-League. What was it like for you when you came to Australia to be around these guys? How easy did they make it for you?
Yeah, it's like I say, when I come, I don't know about I don't know much about the football here, and then from the first day to the last day, everything for me in the dress room, you have like good like ambient, like something like this. You know, you have every time I ask for something, I always have a Brosque or another player to help. It's make my job much easier. You know.
Yeah. And what was it that you knew? Like, what was your perception of Australian football at the time?
Yeah, it's like it's funny because when I play for Grêmio in Brazil before I come, and then I just received the offer to come to Australia, and then I say it will be easy for me. It will be easy for me. And then I remember in my first week here, and then just want the ball because the game here is quicker. You know, in Brazil you have more like number 10, you have more, you know,
More flair.
yeah. And here is quick balls.
Yeah.
And then in my first week, I just watch the ball like this, you know. I don't touch the ball.
Yeah.
It's not easy, and then you need time to adapt. And
Yeah, and I was going to ask about Arnie. You mentioned Arnie. We've talked about Arnie over the last week a lot. What was it about Graham Arnold that made everybody feel so comfortable? What was so different about Arnie that made him as the good manager that he is?
yeah, like Brosque say, it's like when I come, I feel like a family, you know. He's good, like help the players about this. And then I remember when I first come here, he told me, you can stay in Brazil because the pre-season here is 3 months. You can stay in Brazil maybe 3 or 4 weeks, and then you come, it's still 2 months to go. Then I said, no, I want to come because I want to train to get fit early, something like this. And then I start to training with the Australian guys, you know, like.
Oh, fair enough. And with Sydney FC, obviously, Alex, you're someone who really defines the club and the history and what you've done there and what you've achieved. What was your first impression when you came to Sydney FC? What did you think the club meant?
It's like we have a good time with the players, but we have in the same time we have difficult times because in the facilities there is not like now. We don't have anything there. If you want to go to the gym, you need to go like to university, like the Macquarie Fields. You need to get your car. You drive to university, and then you do the gym with the normal people there. Yeah. You know, I mean, it's very different for me. I come like I just watch this, and then sometimes after the game we do the recover. Yeah. Then you went to the pool with someone there swimming together. So
people were taking their kids there, and then we're doing
That's all because we mentioned before your first game was the derby.
Yeah.
How do you go from swimming with normal people and regular people in a pool to 60,000 people?
It's very strange because we won the game 4-0 in my first game. Yeah. Then the next day we went there with someone with the kids in the pool. Everyone is there. It's different, you know, like.
And that first game of yours, before we get onto those golden years, that era that I think really defined our club for what it is, how did it feel in that derby? I mean, let's be honest with ourselves. You went into a derby that had 60,000 people, and I think the rest of the season probably that atmosphere.
Yeah, going down. Yeah, yeah, it was amazing. You know, like it's like when in my old days in Turkey when I played the derby there, or in Brazil, big derbies. You know, like 65,000 people in there. Wow, Australia is like good crowd. And after that, go like this, go down.
The crowd just got smaller and smaller and smaller. Yeah. But let's talk about that golden era. I'll start with you, Alex. What was it about it? What was about that era that made it feel so special? Obviously, all the trophies that were won, but on the inside, if you could give the people a bit of an insight, what was it that made it so special?
Look, the trophies are obviously special, and that's why you play. But I think, to be honest, whenever I catch up with any of the guys from back then, we just laugh at things that happened, at memories that we've got, because the bond that team had. And I'm talking, not 11, not the 16. I'm talking 20 every single player, even guys, week to week that might be in the grandstand more often than not. Everyone was, again, just knew what we were there for, knew that, okay, he's playing, I've just got to work harder, which didn't affect anything. It didn't create any tension amongst anybody. It was as close as a group as I've ever been, which made it, again, just fun to come to training. Like, you look forward to coming to go to training. You look forward to stay back and have lunch and be with the guys. And then everyone would go home. But, when you'd go away and we'd play away on away trips, you'd be together for 2-3 days. we loved it because it was just such a good group.
And obviously, the performances on the field were beyond anyone's expectation. To me personally, even as a fan, I think it's going to be very hard to ever top that squad because the names were just like ridiculously good. And you look back at it now, if you would have formed that squad or the level of that squad now, you'd probably be over the cap. Like, but what was it that made it so good? I know that was the camaraderie and everything, but in a real world, you've got someone on the level of Bobo and someone on the level of yourself. You don't find it very often that there's two, big names or big, I'm not going to use the word egos because you both are very genuine, humble people, but two superstars trying to fit in the same team.
But I think it goes back to that because everyone understood the role. In the A-League, because of the salary cap, there's, very minor differences that separate teams. You look at the Mariners a couple of years ago with, a squad of, I guess, nothing compared to, say, Sydney and Melbourne at the time, yet they were so close that they couldn't be beaten, and that was the difference. I think we were so close off the pitch and everyone knew their role. I wanted him to score goals, so I would run for him, and everyone understood their role. Everyone worked together. So the team was just an incredibly well-oiled machine. Everyone knew where they had to be. Everyone worked hard for each other. And the game itself, all the work that we'd done during the week, the game almost felt easy at times. We went into every game, how much are we going to win? Today's going to be a close game. we felt like every game we were going to win.
I think we've joked around about it a few times. Like you'd walk into some games, you'd be like, oh, you're going to score 2 goals, you're going to score 2 goals, you're going to score 3 goals. I think you were there before it all started. You were there as it was building, I think is the right way to put it. Bobo, you came into that season. Did you expect it to be that good?
To be honest, no, because you never know. Like we do everything to get the wins, but I don't expect like I don't know, we win like maybe 17 games like this in the row.
Yeah.
And we never expect to do this, but you get confidence every game. You win, and then you go.
Yeah.
And then you get a lot of confidence to go and continue wins the games, like.
Yeah, and how does that compare to what you've done in the past, to Brazil, to Turkey? Where did that Sydney FC side compare?
Yeah, in Turkey we did something the same. Like we have a good squad there, good boys, and then we work hard, and then we know exactly what we need to do in the pitch. Then make your job much easy.
Yeah, and one question I want to ask you, Alex, is you were building towards those titles. And I think by the time you got to those titles, correct me if I'm wrong, you never want to assume you're going to win it. You're never going to want to assume that, you're there, it's there for yours for the taking. But when you actually won it, was it a sense of relief or was it a congratulations and a celebration between the boys?
No, definitely relief because I think the season just went, right? And we knew week to week what we were going to do. We were confident. We won the league with I don't know how many games to go. But that side of it, given how we went, felt comfortable.
Yeah.
But a final's a final.
Yeah.
Anyone, and you only have to look at the following year when we lost the semi-final to Melbourne Victory. But in a one-off game, anything can happen. So I think given the year we had, it was almost like we have to win. We have to win. And the pressure going into that game was massive. So, I mean, whenever I look back at images, you can see the relief, genuine relief. Of course, you're happy, you're excited, you've done what you wanted to do and set out to do. But there's a relief that, thank God we did.
Yeah, and what was Arnie like in the dressing room? I think that's the main. Like I've had the fortunate experience of meeting Graham, and he's, as you know, Sydney United alumni, Sydney United great as well. What's he like in the dressing room? What's he like to deal with as a coach? Because in those moments, different coaches act differently. Some are really tense, some are really kind of anxious, some are quiet and expect the boys to do the job. But in those moments, was he kind of the arm around the shoulder type?
Arnie was, you could definitely feel when there was a bigger game, especially against the Wanderers. He wanted nothing more than to smash the Wanderers and Melbourne Victory, right? So you could feel that it was different in that week, but I think that's great because we fed off that as well. I think when I made a comment about hating the Wanderers, that sort of step, you needed to have that. You need to have it. People need to feel that it's genuine. So. And they need to be able to see it,
Yeah.
So Arnie made us feel like, right, boys, this is a big game. But he was always never in the wrong way. He never took it out on anybody. Arnie was great. Whatever he gives off to the media, you know, in a certain way, he's always angry, he's always this. Behind closed doors, he was laughing with us every day and making sure always that the environment, everyone was happy, everyone was good.
Yeah.
He's a great guy.
What was it like for you though? Because, you know, I feel like over your career, you've had your standout moments. You've played overseas as well. We've joked around last time. You went and played in Saudi before the money came in and you came back. What was it like for you to be a part of that? Because, you know, I feel like all these experiences build to who you are today, regardless of whether you're 20, 30, 40. It makes you who you are. How did that affect you?
Look, those 5 years when I came back were the most enjoyable 5 years that I had, you know. And again, Arnie brought me back and I was at a point thinking, do I stay in the Middle East, maybe retire? And he brought me back and you know, after my first year, I had an injury with a hammy, didn't know whether I'd come back. With Clarkey, they got me back. They got me fitter than I'd ever been. So look, I owe all that enjoyment that I had, obviously, to him. But look, he again, it was a great group to be a part of. Great time to be there. Arnie and McFlynn, right? McFlynn did a big job in knowing the local players, helping Arnie scout and pick the right foreign players. So for me personally, they were the 5 sort of most enjoyable years at my age as well, where you're getting older, you're starting to appreciate things a little bit more, you start to get a bit more frustrated with certain things, with your body letting you down. But those 5 years were incredible.
Yeah. And yourself, Bobo, how did that shape you as the human you are today?
Yeah, like Brosque said, Mike Flynn helped me a lot too, to feel like comfortable here, you know, like, and he helped me a lot. And Arnie, like Brosque again, do everything for us, not just in the pitch, but try to help outside the pitch, something like this. And it was a great time together. Yeah.
And what's one story you remember from those times? Like a funny story or a crazy story or something that happens that, you know, you could share. Keep it PG. Let's make it too much. But what's a story you remember?
I don't know. What, do you remember one, Brosque?
No, look, I guess with me personally, and nothing really funny, but I'll keep thinking if I can. The difficult part for me was, so being the captain, I had a good mate of mine, and we laugh about him all the time, David Carney. As far as professionalism goes, he was one of the worst you will ever meet. The guy was driving 2 hours from Newcastle. Arnie wanted him to be closer. He was driving every morning 2 hours to come to training. By the time he got out of his car alone, his back, we'd walk into the change room like a 50-year-old man. And then but he was my best mate.
Yeah.
Right? I'd known Carney since we were 12 years old. So having to deal with that, you know, Arnie wanting everyone to be professional, everyone's here on time, everyone eats well, everyone eats together. Carney, as soon as training finished, he wants to go home because he's got a 2-hour drive. So having the pre-season, you remember the pre-season that time? Carney had gastro. He said he was sick.
Oh, no.
We had a massive running session. So Carney got out of it. And then he sent us a photo when we were out running of having a burger, big hamburger. He's got chocolate bars all over him.
No.
And Clarkey saw it. So Clarkey's raging again. So for me, having to manage my best mate with my coach as well, mate, that for me was difficult. But again, Carney was one of those one of a kind guy. You know, I think if it was anyone else, it's probably out the door. But because of what not only he did on the pitch, but what he gave everyone in the change room, mate, guys like him were great to have around.
I think every friend group's got one of those where it's like you love them for who they are, their silliness, everything there, but. Yeah, look, it's even you look at Sydney FC today. Like, obviously, it's different to what it was when you boys were there, but there's still those 1 or 2 characters in there that you meet. Like on the weekend when Sydney FC scored, they scored the first goal. I believe it was Campuzano's goal. I'm like head down. I'm already posting everything dealing with that. Someone just starts tapping and rubbing my head. I look up, it's Geordie Courtney Perkins, and I'm like, huh? I'm like just fixing my hair and doing it all again. But that's the characters that make teams, and I think without them, you end up with a very bland, very sort of boring squad. The last one off this, I wanted to ask, if you could relive one game in that period, what would it be?
I think it was the first game, the derby.
The derby?
Yeah.
did the Heights ever get like?
The debut and also the grand final,
Mm-hmm.
the first year.
Yeah.
The grand final.
What do you think was better for you? That first game's the first game, but you obviously won the final.
I think won the final was
Yeah.
the number one.
So then the derby.
I scored in the first game, but in the final I did score. But this is the grand final, you know. Like
My question to you during that period is obviously the hate that they have for the Wanderers, the hate that Sydney FC carries. How did they explain that to you?
you can feel like I come here. I'm like in that time 33 years old, and then I can see like the people told me before the game is a big derby here in Sydney. I don't know if you remember, someone kicked me in the game, and then Kenny was the first one to come in and try to fight the one of the players. People told me about the game before, you know. Like,
I think that game told you.
Yeah.
I feel like David's one of those guys that whether you're right or wrong, he's got your back and he's just going to back you till the
Look, the whole team was like that. The whole team.
Are you still close to David till today?
To Carney, yeah. Good mates, very good mates.
That's good. And the next one I want to talk about is your connection. The best way to put it is captain and striker. How did you guys grow? How did you guys, obviously you haven't seen each other for a few years, but in that time, was your bond was it very much unbreakable, you reckon?
Look, I think it's important to have a good understanding with people, you know, and sometimes you have better than others, right? I think for me, I always tried to adapt my game to whoever I played with, and with Bobo, I know his strengths were in the box and goal scoring. So I knew they're not my strengths, right? My strengths were then having to work around him, make sure that we press well, we win the ball back. Yeah. And just be there, you know. Anytime I had to get the ball, I had him on one side, Ninkovic on the other side, Philip Holosko as well. For me, I just had to work and give the ball to these guys. Yeah.
Can I be honest? I saw that in a charity match because Brosque's a natural striker. All you see in the charity match, he turned into a 10, into a cam because we had no really like someone driving the ball in midfield, and our striker was just, I think it was Kevin at the time.
Yes.
So Kevin was not going to run back at the time. So Brosque just started to play the number 10, give me the ball, I'll turn around and do all of that. But that makes sense. But I feel like that's what made you a leader. And I think for myself, you know, I can really resonate with that as someone who's trying to grow, trying to lead a team, trying to deal with, you know, different types of people in the jobs that I do. You have to be able to adapt to people. You have to be able to, for the betterment of what you're trying to achieve, not so much put that first, but allow, you know, not to be selfish. And I think that really makes what leaders are today. Who do you think meant the most to you during that time, during your time at Sydney FC?
Yeah, I think Ani built the team in the right way, you know, like he put me in there, he put Brosque here, and Ninko, Olosko, and then we know what we need to do to win the games. Yeah. Like every day in a week, we prepare the team. We prepare very good to win the games. We know exactly what we need to do to win the games.
Yeah. And what was Ninko like to play with? Because I think he, for me, one of the best players, if not the best to ever grace that.
Yeah, I already say so many times, like when you play with good players, make your job easy. Like with Brosque, Ninko, Olosko, and then after Olosko, Adrian. Then you have like good defense too, Winkson. You have Ryan Grant in the right side, and then you have like good players on the left side. It's make your job easy, you know. Yeah. Like for me, striker, I just need to wait. Then the ball is there. You just need to score the goals in the box, like easy.
It sounds super easy, you know. I might be able to do it if I get in the box and wait for the ball.
Yeah, because when you play with the quality players, make your job much easier, you know.
100%. And like even we saw when he played at the charity match, like he still got it. Like he's one of those players that you know. Yeah.
It's his look. His brain is next level. It was nearly every session he'd make us genuinely like look at each other and go, "Wow, this guy's a freak," you know. And it was great again to be a part of one of the nicest guys, super humble. I mean, he played in a World Cup. He's a big player. Yeah. And he came here and he was one of us, you know. And again, that's what we loved about him. But every session you could see how good he was.
And the other question I was going to say, you had players now, Ryan Grant, I believe Pat Wood and Joel King, who I believe were there at the time where both of you were there. What's Sydney going to look like when they're no longer there anymore? Because I still think there's a piece of the old Sydney in that team, in that squad now. We're seeing Redders leave last year, and slowly but surely we're uncovering new Sydney FC. What do you want your legacy to be once that's over?
Look, it's hard. I feel like that generation that we had, it's hard to carry that on, because people come and go, and that's the reality of life, of football. We were talking about the club, but he was there this week, and I've sort of been back over the years every now and then.
Yeah.
And it is hard because, like I said, people come and go. So, there's a new CEO now, there's a new marketing manager, there's new people all the time. So every time you go, there's different faces. And if you're not there regularly, you almost lose that connection a little bit. So I think, look, it's not so much. Legacies are I guess, there in the records of what you've done, and I guess when you look at when players walk in, and as long as they understand everything that's sort of happened before them, all the 20 odd years that have gone, players that have come and gone before them, as long as they understand what it's like to wear the shirt, then in some way we've obviously played our part in that, but I think the more, the club can get players like this guy coming back and seeing the team and giving those little bits of inspiration even to the youngsters coming through, then that's how you carry that legacy on, by just being around and letting the next generation, the next crop of players see the guys that used to do it.
And how do you want your legacy to be remembered, Bobo? The few years you had at Sydney?
Yeah, like Brosque say, it's not easy because sometimes the clubs change a lot every year. The players go and come back, and your generation. I don't say like your generation is better than this one because it's different generation. And we try to do like in your time. We try to do the best to show the young boys how to beat the game. You try to do. For me, I try to do everything I can to help the young players.
Yeah. And what's the next question out is, what's one thing you learn off each other during that time? What's one thing you learned from Brosque and you think made you a better player or a person?
Yeah, not just for us, of course, Brosque too, but about respect. We need, like me, I come from Brazil. I need to respect how the Australian players here, everyone here in the club, and also for the Australian boys. They need to be respect to not just the country, but also the players. And then when I first come, they treat me very well. Something like this. Always when I think in Brazil about the CNFC, I remember this guy and the other boys, when I first come.
Yeah. What about yourself, Alex?
Remind me of the question, because I had something in my head and then it threw me a little bit. What the impression? Look, it's not. I guess what I've learned. It's more the impression that he left. We talk about, a couple of Brazilian players that have come here, Costa and a few others, and talk about, Brazilians love to party, right? Yeah. We know that all around the world. But he came here, like he said, he could have come here a couple of weeks before the season. But the fact that he came and started preseason when we all started preseason, you just have a genuine respect for somebody who understands and has a similar mindset to everybody else, and understands. Doesn't matter where you go, where you play, work hard, and you're one of the players. So that's what I loved about him. Obviously, as a goal scorer, the guy did things I couldn't do. So I loved watching him at training. I loved the games that watching him score goals and the records that he set at the club. So that's just something that stuck with me forever. Yeah,
it's more so, I think, not judging a book by its cover. I think we can all sometimes say, oh yeah, someone from Brazil comes, they love to party, they're not going to train. But I think Bobo redefined that. I think it should. Yeah,
because you know why? Because the people think the Brazilian players it's like everyone is the same mentality. It's not like this in Brazil. You have of course you have players they like to party, but of course you have players they do like everything like professional things. Yeah.
And I think we've talked about it before. It's in Brazil, it's football or nothing. So I think when you come to a country where I think sometimes Australia is not disrespected, but we're not seen as a soccer country or a football country. So when overseas players come here, they think it's easy. And in reality, it's sometimes harder than other countries because the opportunities are so limited. So when you do get that opportunity, it's very hard to to let that go. So I think, coming over here, respecting the game, obviously led to the legacy you left. And I think, like you said, we've had 1,000,001 Brazilians come through, 1,000,001 South Americans. But the way Bobo treated football here, I think, is what built your legacy, because I don't think we've had another one since, to be honest. Another, import or a foreign player come to Australia and respect the game that you did. So that's probably the most appreciation we can give you. And I think that's why we love you so much here in Australia as well. But the last one I want to leave on this, who was the better trainer? Who was the harder trainer behind the scenes?
I don't think I was a very hard trainer, to be honest. I'll say him.
Yeah, I don't know, to be honest. I'm not sure.
No. Yeah, well, you were like a full-on training,
Yeah, I try. It's sometimes it's difficult, because after the game, sometimes you feel something during the game, and then in the week you need to go is a little bit easy because if you to do everything, maybe you get injury. Yeah. So it's like we try to do your best every time.
And the other question I had was, did you deal with Bimby? You dealt with Bimby quite a bit, didn't you, while he was at Sydney?
Yeah.
I think that's Arnie's legacy, personally, if you ask me. I think he's been able to carry that legacy. We see not the same style, but a very similar kind of mentality, the way it's dealt. I've had the fortunate enough experience of, having a few conversations. I've interviewed Bimby a few times as well. What was it like working with him? Because I'm not sure if you've seen, he's at Auckland at the moment. He's absolutely killed it in the first season. And now, personally, I think they're the favourites this year. Mm-hmm. I think if they go on and do the job, they've signed all the new players, they've kept their squad together, I think they're going to win the league this year. What was Bimby like to work with?
Yeah, it's when I come back after I leave, and then I come back, Bimby was the coach. But the training is still the same.
Yeah,
the same like Arnie. You see, nothing changed, and then that's why I think they have a good successful after Arnie leave the club, because he keep the same in the same way.
Yeah,
it's easy for the players.
Yeah. And I feel it sometimes when you talk to him after the game. His family's there with him. He's a very family man, and you can tell with the squad, with the boys, he makes everyone feel like one big happy family. So is that something important? Do you think we're missing that in Australian football now?
Missing what exactly?
That family feel. Because, you've been around a lot more football than I have. But from what I've seen, I think it's become a lot more do or die. You need to perform or you're not out. A lot less hand around the shoulder.
Yeah, right. And look, to be fair, there's probably elements of it. I feel like it is there's no real secret to success. Again, like I said earlier, the closest teams are generally the ones that go on to do well. So I think Bimby understood that. He's very smart in knowing that what Arnie had created didn't need to be changed. The players, knew their roles, knew inside out what was going to happen in training, how to beat opposition teams, the analysis, all of that. So he carried that on. And look, I think the unfortunate thing is, and that happens to managers all over the world. Look at Guardiola. After a few years, wherever he's gone, you start to lose that effect. And that started to happen at Sydney, I think. Which is why in the end he left, but. Yeah, I think what we're seeing now is a completely different Bimby, So I love the way he's changed his style and way of managing. But you're right. At heart, he's still a family guy, still a great guy, still about building good teams and good people. And you can see it in the team that he's coaching.
Yeah, and I think most games, more often than not, whether they win or lose, he's got his wife and his kids there, and he stops and he, hugs everyone, has a conversation, wants to make sure that everyone's there. And he's a family first. And I think, football needs good people in it. And I think they're the good feel stories. And a lot of the people that we've come across in football now, especially like yourselves, are genuine people. And I think that's a lot harder to find. Not so much a lot harder to find, but, it's hard to connect to football now. And I think in Australian football, some people are struggling to find that connection. That love, that, the same, my grandfather and my dad had it easier back in the day, because you go down 5 minutes down the road, you had a Marconi, you had a Sydney United, you had something to connect to. And I think 5-6 years ago, we still had players to connect to. Alex, you're of Uruguayan background, Bobo, you're from Brazil, but you were personalities. And, right now you look at Bimby, Now Thomas, my friend, he gives me a lot of crap for it because he's like, but you're a Sydney supporter. Bimby's in Auckland. I said no, but I like Bimby as a person. And like we had a press conference when they beat the Wanderers. I think it was last year. I think it was 2-1 at home. They scored in the last minute. My first question to Bimby was, Bimby, you're back at the old enemy ground. What does it feel like to beat the Wanderers again? And he just smiled with a grin on his face. And I turned around to him, and after that, he's like to me, he's like, you know, he knew I was a Sydney fan straight away. So, you know, it's appreciation. He didn't need to stop to me. He didn't need to talk to me, but he did at the end of the day. The last one I want to talk about is life after football. Bobo, what are you up to nowadays in Brazil?
Yeah, just when I retired here, come back to Brazil, and then just finished the coach license in Brazil. Then after that, to be honest, I spent like almost 1 year do nothing.
Yeah.
Just relax, you know, because football is, I play almost 20 years in professional league. And then after that, I need rest, you know. And then I spent almost 1 year. And after that, I did like the coach license in Brazil. And now I start to play with the young players like players agents.
And what has retirement taught you?
It's not easy. You need to prepare everything, Brosque? Yeah. It's not easy, man, because you spend so much time in your life to play, to give it everything for this game. Yeah. And then after that, you need to find something to do, you know? And then it's not easy.
You said, I believe you have 3 kids as well?
Yeah.
Now, now, this is the question I wanted to ask. When it comes to retirement, do you think you change as people? Do you think a lot of people change after they retire, or do they keep that same sort of like, you know, identity?
You mean that, like, personally? Do you feel yourself? I think it's impossible not to, really. You know, like Bobo just said, you go from training and being a professional and having routine in your life. You know, you come home and your wife has spent the whole day with the kids, so you know you liven up the house when you get home because you're with them for a few hours a day. Yeah. But then all of that stops, and then you're home 24/7, and things just change. You know, so I think. I think it definitely changes you, but it is hard. You do need to be prepared in some way for that change, because all you've ever known since you were this big, now you're 36, 37 years old, a grown man, and you've got to change your lifestyle entirely. So I think, you know, having you go back to family, right? Having a good family support network to sort of help you through definitely makes a big difference. Yeah.
Because I think even with me, like obviously I wasn't as active in terms of the A-League back when let's call it the prime days of when you were both playing at the time. But I think I've gotten to know more Alex Brosque, the dad. I think since we've met you, I've seen that family side, that sort of, you know, I think the few times you've run into each other, you've been with the family as well. And, you know, I kind of look back on that and I'm like, you know, would that have been the same Alex 10 years ago? Would it have not? But I think as you grow and as you learn, and you know, I'm a lot younger than the both of you, but even now in the last 3-4 years, I've noticed myself through all your experiences, through everything. If you stop and look back, you actually reflect and you learn more. And I think when you get to retirement, I agree with Bobo. It's not as easy as you think. You know, even with myself, you know, talking to my own dad recently, he's 51 now, and he's nearing those last sort of 10 years of work, 10, 15 years, and, you know, making different decisions and life choices. But I've noticed he's a lot more relaxed than, you know, he was 10 years ago. He's a lot more chill and he's not thinking too much about work. He's taking the kids out every Saturday, every Sunday. It's more about family time. And, you know, what were the emotions like when you got there? That last Sydney FC game, what was it like for you?
I mean, my last game was the grand final in Perth. And it felt strange, you know, because I knew that whole season that was going to be my last one. Yeah. So I feel like I'd prepared, you know, mentally for it. But then the game, it's over like that, and you're just standing there on the pitch and thinking, man, I'm never going to kick a ball professionally again. I'm not going training ever again, you know. And it's a strange feeling. But, you know, like I said, I had a long time to prepare for it and be comfortable with my decision. But yeah, nothing really can prepare you for it. It's like, you know, when they say having a kid, you can read every book you want and they tell you what it's like. But when you first hold your baby, it's like,
I created this?
Yeah. And now what, right? What do I do with it? So a similar sort of feeling. Yeah, you can prepare and be mentally ready, but yeah, it's just a real surreal feeling, you know.
Yeah. And Bobo, that
Yeah,
last
it's
game.
it's very similar for me too, because was in the last game we think just in the moment I don't train anymore.
Yeah.
You know, it's and also I prepare my life. You know, you think about it. I think about it 1 year before what I'm gonna do in the next year. You know, I know, like Brosque say, I know this year will be my last year.
Yeah.
You know, and then you just prepare everything to finish your career and like, you know, and then it's like Brosque, not easy. It's not easy to finish, but. And also you're still younger. Like in football is strange because you're 37, 38. For football you are too old,
Yeah.
but for life it's like you're still there, you know, like easy. It's not easy, but
So where do you find your purpose? What is the purpose now? Like, what's the difference?
I like to stay with the family, you know, like I have young kids yet, but I try to help now the young players to show how they about the mentality, you know, because now it's different generation, and I try to help the young players now.
I don't know. Maybe it's just, I believe it will be the same with you two. Something about helping the next generation and just getting them ready for not making the same mistakes we did or not making the same mistakes. Even on the media side, we've been fortunate enough to take on a few young ones, and you want to help them walk through life so they don't have to feel the loneliness or the mistakes or the I don't know where to go about life. And I don't know whether it's the same thing after retirement, because with football it's different. Someone who's worked an office job, a 9 to 5 job, will retire at 60, 65. Footballers retire at 33, 35, 38, 40. You've still got 20 years really before you can settle down and sit somewhere and just be like, okay, I don't want to do nothing. So what about helping that next generation does? What's so satisfying about it?
Well, I think as well, the generation now has a lot of different things to have to deal with. Social media is crazy, right? And as good as it is, it's equally bad for them, to just the things that they're exposed to, which makes it harder and hard for us to be able to relate sometimes because we didn't have to deal with that. So, look, I think just passing on whatever we can from a football sense, and then how you dealt with certain pressures is all we can do, really. I think ultimately what they take from what we say and what they watch is up to them. But yeah, I do feel for this current generation just because of how much harder I think that side of things and dealing with all of that is. But would you get into? You said you did your licenses. Do you want to coach one day?
I try to do. I did my coach license in Brazil, but I think I can help more them if I stay with them with like agent,
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah, because sometimes for the coaches it's difficult. You have like maybe 20, 25 players.
Yeah.
It's not easy to do these things.
You'd rather one-on-one.
manage, yeah.
You'd rather individual coaching one-on-one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, it's again, I'm no coach. I think the best I've coached is like under 10s at Sporting Rovers. I think that's as far as it went. But from what I understand, dealing with a whole group of people, whether they're 10, 15, 20 or 25, it's not easy because you have to have that. It's just as the kids say, that aura to be able to kind of just that presence to be able to stop and have everyone listen and respect what you do. But with your coaching, with helping one player at a time, what is it about it that you like?
When I say to help them like a manager, is like start to work with the young boys and then say, look, if you go for this way, you're gonna get this.
Yeah.
If you go for this way, you're gonna get this.
Yeah.
But in the end, you cannot choose for them.
It's up to them.
They need to know which way they want to go.
Yeah. And I think for me, for example, the best thing I ever learned, or the best thing I think my dad ever did for me, was let me learn from my mistakes. He helped me. He told me this is the path, this is the path, this is the path. Whatever one you choose to take, that's your responsibility.
Yeah.
That's your choice.
Yeah.
And whatever comes out the other side is what you have to deal with. Now, not everything's right in the world. Some things you do wrong, some things you do right. But having that mentor, having that sort of hand across your shoulder, and I think we keep going back to that on this podcast, is more influential and more helpful than having the opportunity there for you given to you. You think that's right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the last one, what still gives you the buzz on match days? When you're at the football, what still gets you excited?
Going to there's still a great feeling when you go to the stadiums and you see the crowd. I mean, in knowing what it's like to be in the change room, I get a buzz now when the players are in the change room still, just seeing the crowd and just seeing all the energy that's there, because as a player, you don't realize, you're sitting, you're getting yourself ready, you're preparing, you're on the mat doing your stretches, warming up, whatever, and you have no idea, but then on the outside, it's like, man, all these people have come here to watch these guys kick a ball around, and that gives me a buzz. Yeah. Understanding and knowing that at one point that was us, like that's a good feeling.
100%. Same as well.
Yeah, the same. Sometimes before the game we just walk in the pitch, then you see the people come in the stadium. Like it's a good feeling, to see everyone come to watch how you play today. It's like.
I agree. I think I was telling the boys the other day, even on the media end, I haven't been to a football game as a fan in probably 12 months. And I just want to go to one game and just sit in the crowd and enjoy it for what it is. Because when you're on the field, you're behind the teams, you're going around, you lose the whole fan aspect. And I'm not sure whether, you've experienced that working in media yourself, but it's no longer about the football. It's just the job that you have to get done.
Yeah, because you're thinking about what you have to do, what you have to say, preparing all of that. You're not actually sitting there enjoying it.
Yeah.
So, like my plan on Friday is at my Coney, just sit there, enjoy the game, and just like have one day where it's just about the football rather than have to go down, interview this person, talk to this person, run there. But I want to end it off with some quick fire questions. There's about 10 in here. Hardest opponent faced in the A-League?
Team or player?
Opponent, like player.
Player. Okay. For me, it was Kevin Muscat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard a lot of reviews about his looks. I don't know what it's like. Yeah, there's a lot of people that like Kevin Muscat for the threatening look that he has on his face.
Yeah, I have one. I forget his name, but he's played for Newcastle defense. Tall guy, yeah.
Curly hair, Topper Stanley?
Topper Stanley, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He played for the Wanderers as well, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. And he played for the Mariners too, didn't he?
But ever in your career?
No, here in Australia.
Okay.
In Australia. What about your career?
I play against Champions League. I play against Manchester United.
Ooh.
Then you have a Ferdinand, Rio Ferdinand. Was unbelievable. Yeah, it was a tough one. Number one.
Who's probably the biggest player you've played against?
Against Messi.
Messi?
Yeah.
How'd that go?
Yeah, the big one.
Did you swap shirts?
No, I play we play Brazil Argentina,
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I think that was you were telling us the other day.
Yeah,
you had that one. You had the perfect call up. You got Argentina.
Yeah.
Who would have played with him at the time? Was that?
Yeah, we have a good players.
Angel Di Maria at the time. Was it 2014?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have a Di Maria. They have Higuain.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Messi, unbelievable team.
Oh.
We have a good team too, Brazil.
Yeah.
We lost the game 2-1.
Still a respectable performance.
A good game. Always good game, Brazil Argentina.
Yeah. I think nowadays it's a bit. Brazil's getting there again.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I said Brazil's going to win the World Cup next year. I don't know. I said it a long time ago.
You know why? What the people say in Brazil about this? Because every World Cup, the people say Brazil have a good chance to win, and then Brazil never win. When the people in Brazil say we have no chance, and then we win the World Cup.
I think this is the year, to be honest. The defense.
And then everyone in Brazil now they say we have no chance, we have no players to do this.
Oh, the defense is
now,
a lot better now.
In Brazil, they talk about this. We have no chance next year in the World Cup.
So we expect the opposite to happen now.
Maybe
they might actually win the World
Put
Cup.
your money on Brazil then.
Yeah. Look, I said it. I said it a long time ago, and if it comes true, it comes true. Uruguay, on the other hand, how are we feeling about Uruguay, Alex?
No, definitely no chance. I think they're in an odd period at the moment. I think when Bielsa took over, and he had an immediate impact, they beat Argentina, Brazil, and they were flying. But the reports coming out aren't great.
Yeah.
And they've just gone downhill.
They've lost a lot of key players.
Yeah,
well.
they have.
Like,
You know, next year will be the first time the Brazilian coach will be like someone from
Yeah.
another culture. You know,
Yeah.
will be the first time
Yeah.
in Brazil story, national team story.
with
The first time.
Carlo
will be
Ancelotti.
yeah.
It's good though. Even England having Thomas Tuchel now, a German coach coaching England, it needs to happen just to diversify.
What do the people think about him?
They talk very good about him. You know, the people in Brazil, so many Brazilian coaches went there and then nothing.
Yeah.
They need to change the coach, and then now they start to talk. Maybe we're gonna win with this coach. But they talk good about him there.
Okay.
Who's your current favorite player?
Huh?
Who's your current favorite player in the Brazilian team?
Me, my favorite player now.
Yeah.
It's hard to find one now. But maybe I would say Vini Junior.
Junior.
Yeah.
No Martinelli.
Huh?
Gabriel Martinelli. No.
No, I like Vini Junior. Yeah.
Junior. Oh, real.
Maybe if Neymar now is injured in Brazil, but the people still say in Brazil if Neymar put like everything in the pitch, he'll be good for us.
If Neymar, I think it would have been up there. Would have been.
He's still good, man. Still good.
Nice.
When he wants to play, it's hard to stop him. You know.
Do you reckon if he didn't get injured against in 2014, Brazil would have won the World Cup?
Yeah, I don't know. You never know. I hope I hope that he's like get fit early and then can prepare everything for the Brazil. I think with him, I think we have more chance to win with him.
The next question: favorite goal you've scored in your career?
Here in Australia, or
In your career?
I scored. You know how much goal I scored in my career? 242.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I have in Brazil, in Australia, in Turkey, but I scored one in the cup final in Turkey.
Yeah.
I think for me it's like the number one.
Yeah.
In the cup gaming, big derby there in Turkey, so 8,000 people in this stage, like crazy,
The raw, everything.
great
the
crowd
fans.
there.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Yeah, I'll pick this one.
Do you miss Turkey?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah. I spent 10 years there. Né? It's good people. Like you know.
It's different over there. Like from what I've seen as well, the fans are just on another level when it comes to dealing with all.
Yeah,
of
because I think in Turkey it's different because there is different from Australia. Is because there is football is the first sport. You know.
Yeah. 100%. Did you watch much AFL NRL when you were here? The league, rugby league, AFL. You didn't
No,
watch any
here
of it?
no.
No.
Just watch football here when I come. Yeah.
Like, that's how you know he's a proper, proper football
And,
fan.
you know, sometimes after the game, so in the day, in the week, in the training ground, the Australian guy talk about the rugby games. You know, so you're just, what are they talking about? Like,
Did you try playing? You should have tried playing it one day. Just pass the ball and.
yeah, I try when we do recover in Balmoral Beach. We try to play a little bit. Remember?
Who was the best at it? Who was the best rugby player, I reckon, in the squad at the time?
Ryan Grant.
Ryan Grant.
Yeah,
He's a Penrith boy.
Yeah, he's a Penrith. He
Oh.
was good. He was good at any sport. Just give him any shaped ball, and he'd find a way to play with it.
I was telling Bobo in the car, I'm like, you realize he's Wanderers territory. He grew up. We were joking about it last time when we went to we did a bit of a tour and a video, some content of Sydney FC, and we had Malachi within his Lesniak there.
Yeah.
And Malachi's like, oh, I'm Penrith. He's like, Ryan's like, yeah, me too. I'm like, really? I'm like, you look like you're straight out of Bondi. But he's a good man. What about yourself, Alex? Favorite goal you've scored in your career?
Oh man. Favorite goal, probably. I mean, off the top of my head, semi-final against Adelaide. Probably the year that Bobo got here. We played. I think Bernie Abini crossed me a ball, and it was I'd overrun it. I'm not going to say it was a bad ball from Bernie. Played a good ball. I overran it, and then it was sort of in behind me, so I sort of just flicked at it and went in near post.
Yeah.
Probably that one.
I was going to say if you scored in the charity match, you could have gone all the.
Well, I didn't get close.
to be fair, the defenses were pretty tight that game.
I can't remember what team was.
Cancer Council.
Cancer Council, and that was stacked at the back, and none of their back four came off to give the other guys a go.
For us, our team had a striker, two strikers at centre back. Sam Young's a striker.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, chuck him up front. I'm like, oh, but if I take him out at the back, we're going to fall apart.
Yes.
No, but it was the next one. Who's more likely to be late to training, Alex or Bobo?
Maybe
Me.
Really? I would not have expected that. I always said Bobo sometimes, get up too late. But
Nah, man, I love my sleep and I like timing things.
to
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
you're
if
like
I
me.
can get that last minute worth of sleep, I will.
I'm the same, and Tom kills me for it. I'll be like, got to be somewhere at 11:30. I'll be getting out of bed at like 10:20. Give myself 5 minutes to shower, get out of the house, and if I get there just on time, I'm fine. I don't know how people get up at 7 o'clock in the morning every day.
Me neither.
I never understand it. Most underrated Sydney FC player.
Underrated.
what does that mean?
Like, how would you translate that in Spanish?
How would you underrated? A player that not everybody talked about.
Good, but didn't get
Yeah.
the praise, appreciation.
Like in football, everybody talks about the striker, the goalkeeper, maybe midfielders, left back, right back, maybe not so much. Number 6, maybe not so much. Which player was the one?
That never got the awards, never got anything.
I think Brenda O'Neill. He do.
See, I was going to say the other one. I was going to say Brillante.
Yeah, because in that time they did like a hard work for us because running a lot for us and then just get the ball give for us.
Yeah.
I can't lie, Brillante is a shout as well because even at the Wanderers now, like he still does a good job. Last year he was playing midfield, played centre back. I think he played out wide one game as well.
Yeah.
Just doesn't get the appreciation still to this day.
It is that position, that sort of holding midfield role where you don't. They graft and they grind and run all over the park. But for me, Josh and Brandon, to be fair, they're always there helping the defence.
Yeah.
As soon as the ball goes forward, they're up the other side of the field as well. Just the work that they get through.
I remember when you finish the game and then you get the GPS. They run like 14 kilometers every game. Then when you look for us, maybe 9.5, 10. Yeah, they did the great job. We never get the
Two positions that never get appreciated. I think the 6, actually 3, centre back and the goalkeeper. As a goalkeeper myself, I just think that's.
I think good goalkeepers, man, like they're super important, and you understand the. I think players definitely understand that a good goalkeeper will win your championship.
100%. It's sometimes when you can see I had to come off, I had to bring on the good goalkeeper, but I still think to this day, had I not actually came off, had I not started and just didn't play, we would have won that game easily. Be honest, Alex.
No, I disagree. I mean, what was the score when you came off?
2-0.
Well, we still copped another couple, so.
Oh, fair enough. I mean, look fair.
You did well, man. You did well.
I tried my best. Tariq just went left, right, and I just.
Well, that's the thing. You got Tariq. You were up against Archie as well.
Source as well. I don't know how he scored. He scored with some. I know. Last couple. Dream 5-a-side team with Sydney FC players that you played with. So if you could pick 5 players that you played at Sydney FC with, who would you pick?
I think I can pick like Brosque, not because he's here, but Brosque or Losco, Ninkovic, Adrian, Wilson.
Yeah. What about yourself?
It's hard, man. Giving me only 5. All right. I will start with. There's been so many players, man. You're talking 10 years worth of
10
players
years
into
in,
5 players.
You just talk about Sydney FC, yeah?
Just Sydney FC.
For him, it's
all right.
very hard.
He's got to pick 10 teams.
All right, top of my head, and geez, this is tough. All right,
We're sorry if he's left anyone out.
I'm definitely going to leave a few out.
Yeah.
All right, going Carney, Wilco, McFlynn, Mark Bridge, and Bobby to score the goals.
Oh, wow.
Need a goal scorer.
You need to put
I'm
me
on the
because
bench.
I'm here.
I'm on the bench. No. We need to score goals.
Whose team would win?
Difficult to say, yeah?
I think
It's
yours
hard
is
to
harder
say.
to break down.
It's hard to say.
Yeah, tough. I need to see him on paper.
It goes to penalties. The football one. Most emotional football moment.
Sorry?
Most emotional football moment and you can't pick your last game, what?
I think in that grand final in 2017.
Yeah.
Again, when you mention the word relief, everything that built up to that moment, had all my family in the crowd, as a new father as well. I think actually I had 2 girls that were in the crowd, and then going to see them at the end of the game, having them there, because I played, in 2 other grand finals, one in Melbourne, one in Perth, but it's not home. That was the one that was home, and honestly hard to keep all the emotions in. And then on the field, then you look again at the team that we had, the players, that group was incredible. So that was emotionally the most incredible night for me.
And Bobo?
Can I pick 2?
Sure.
We talk about my career, not just here in Australia.
Your career.
Yeah, I have 2. I have this one, the same one with Brosque. Then I have I have one in Turkey too, when win the cup in the final. Yeah.
What did the one in Turkey mean to you?
Yeah, like Brosque say, my family come in the pitch. The kids is like young kids.
Yeah.
And they come in was very special for me. Like,
I'll be honest. Obviously, I don't have any children yet. Not married. But that charity match that we had the other day, is first time I think I had my parents and the whole family there, and you met my dad on the way out as well. And he's gonna kill me for saying this, but that was all for him at the end of the day. And for the first time, it got me a bit emotional, even on the microphone speaking after. I finally realized what that meant, and like being able to actually do something for someone and hoping that they appreciate what you've just done, not just for yourself, but for what you do it for. So I get that. I'm not an emotional person.
No, but you like, and that's one of the things when you spoke about, the feeling of going back to games now. That's something that you don't realise. Like I've got my nephew coming through at the Mariners now, and he scored the winning goal in the derby the other day. The feeling that it gave me seeing him score that, and then it sort of again just takes you back, not being selfish, but remembering and thinking that at one point that was you, and then you go back and think, man, what would that must have been like for my family sitting in the crowd, because your wife and your kids and your parents, as happy as they are, they're also, I guess, nervous. They're scared that you don't get injured. There's so many things. They hear people booing you in the crowd. There's a lot that they have to deal with.
Yeah.
But for those moments, where you score or where you have a good moment and you're able to, you realise the effect that you would have had on them. Yeah. You're right. And to have your old man sitting there watching you on the field, there's nothing better.
And you mentioned even the booing and stuff. I had the fortunate experience of working within the Bulldogs, the NRL, the rugby league, when I was a teenager. I was 15. Worked closely with Josh Reynolds' mum. And I remember she was telling me once there was a group of fans that came into the cafe and stuff. She's like, they were saying bad stuff about my son and all of that. Makes me wonder how families compute that, how they can sit there and if you've missed a chance, you hear someone in the background go, Alex, oh, Bobo, you idiot. Oh. How do you turn around and not, And that's sometimes you forget that the families almost do it just as bad, if not worse, as the players do. Before we close it off, I want to ask a question. What does Sydney FC mean to you today?
Look, for me, it was the in football terms, like the times where I had the most fun and the best experience in my career. 10 years of my football, of close to 20 years, more than half of them were spent at Sydney FC. So, so many memories. Every good moment that I can think of happened in a sky blue shirt, so that those memories will live with me forever, and forever hold an incredible place in my heart.
Yeah, for me it means a lot, because give me a chance to come to Australia and then to enjoy the game here. So many times in Brazil, when I talk about my time in Australia, we have so many good memories. I have a lot of photos in my phone about that time. I enjoy a lot my time here. It means a lot for me.
And what do you hope your legacy leaves? What do you want to be remembered for in 20 years' time, Alex?
You know, and I think probably just someone who, you know, wasn't the greatest player in the world, but gave what he could, gave everything he had for the club, you know. And when I wore the jersey, you could feel what it meant to me. And I feel like, you know, for a lot of people, it did. You know, I literally wore my heart on my sleeve, and every 90 minutes that I played with the club was like war to me, you know, and I loved it.
And Bobo?
For me, just one Brazilian guy come to Australia, try to do the best every training, every session training, and then try to help every single, every player, and just try to do my best, something like this.
And
Respectful, this is very important. You respect everyone, the club, you know.
fair enough. And I was going to mention, like, it's similar in between the both of you. I think sometimes you forget how far you've come and how hard you've worked. And, you know, obviously what you've both given to the club is more than I think anyone could or anyone can. And I resonate a lot with what you said, Alex, as well, because 10 years ago, you know, I come from a Lebanese background, you know, Lebanese Muslim, someone from Canterbury, Bankstown, and to get as far as I have, and we have at UBF as well, you know, to represent what I come from is you know, I'm grateful for it. And, you know, being able to say, you mentioned wearing your heart on your sleeve, and, you know, with Bobo coming in, respecting the game and just wanting to work hard, you don't see that as often anymore. And I'm someone who wears their heart on their sleeve, and even with Thomas himself as well, it's just who we are as people. And you feel the more you grow, the gratitude you get, you know, that's why we look up to people like yourselves, and, you know, the appreciation that people give, because you don't see that often anymore, and can't thank you guys enough.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Well, that's pretty much it for today.
All right.
So, Bobo, next time you're in Sydney, let us know. We'll take you for some Lebanese food or something down.
Give us more notice next time. He told me 2 days ago that he was coming to Sydney.
That's why we sent you the video. A very nice message in that video as well. So, Bobo, thank you for gracing the country with your presence once more.
Thank you to invite me today to come here. Then I always enjoy my time when I come to Sydney. Next time I'll let you know early, Brosque. And yeah, it's nice, man, to be here.
And Alex, it's always a pleasure. We hold you dear to our heart, more than you think, and we appreciate you for your time today.
Thank you, mate. Always a pleasure.
And I forgot to say it at the start, if you're going to shop at the LAC Athleisure store, don't forget to use code UBF15 for 15% off all your LAC Athleisure purchases. Boys, appreciate it. Thank you. Ciao.
Yeah.
That was good.
I think my English is